Mercedes have secured the future of one of their drivers, but the question still remains, what will happen with Lewis Hamilton? Having originally been planned for over the winter break, a contract extension announcement has yet to come, leading plenty to wonder if Hamilton could be on his way out. Stay tuned as we run you through George Russell's extension and what that could mean for the future of Lewis Hamilton. The Mercedes driving pairing comes together. This Mercedes driving pairing first came to be when George Russell swapped Williams for the Silver Arrows for the 2022 season. It seemed like a perfect fit and one that had been a long time coming. Everyone knows the story of Russell sending a hopeful email to Toto Wolff that landed him an interview, but after that fateful moment, the young Brit was signed to Mercedes' junior team. He was just the third person to sign on to the Silver Arrows Academy, behind Pascal Wehrlein and current Alpine driver Esteban Ocon. But while the Frenchman's future looked destined elsewhere, it always seemed as if Russell was a candidate for the Mercedes seat at some point down the road. Russell started his F1 career with Mercedes engine customer Williams, and while he was battling in one of the worst cars on the grid, he still put in some performances to put him on Wolff's radar. He scored points for the team in 2021, including a P2 at the Belgian Grand Prix, and yes, that particular race only ran behind the safety car, but it was Russell's efforts in qualifying that earned him his first podium. Russell continued that good form in 2021, comfortably beating teammate Nicholas Latifi and finishing 15th in the championship. But there was always one person standing in the way of Russell's Mercedes move, the forever consistent Valtteri Bottas. While Hamilton had been winning title after title, Bottas had been the perfect partner, consistently getting P2s and not quick enough to cause any Nico Rosberg-style drama, which made Wolff all the more reluctant to get rid of him. That decision finally came midway through the 2021 season, when Wolff sensed Russell was becoming frustrated and offered him the Mercedes seat for 2022. To everyone's surprise, not only did Russell perform well in his first year at the Silver Arrows, he actually beat Lewis Hamilton for points, meaning the young Brit's time at the team looked like it was going to go on for a few years yet, but that same certainty can't be said for his teammate. Hamilton contract confusion. Throughout the career of Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, his contract renegotiation has never been easy. Hamilton first put pen to paper on a Mercedes deal way back in October 2012, when he made the surprising move away from McLaren and to a constructor that had only just returned to the grid. He was given a £45 million deal over 3 years and signed a 3-year extension to that in May 2015, shortly before the Monaco Grand Prix. That deal was then extended in July 2019 by a further 2 years, but then Hamilton's contract negotiations appeared to get a little trickier. Come the end of 2020, and Hamilton was actually a free agent as his deal ran out before he and Mercedes had agreed to a new one. They eventually did shortly before the 2021 season, just for a single year, but the contract was extended further in July when he signed on for 2 more years, taking him up to the end of the current season. Now, if you were to listen to Toto Wolff's comments towards the end of the 2022 season, you would have thought Hamilton signing a new deal was a matter of when, not if. The Mercedes boss said he expected a deal to be agreed over the winter break, but now into the summer of 2023 and still nothing is signed. There are plenty of theories as to why the negotiations are taking so long, ranging from salary to Hamilton wanting a percentage of the ownership, but the most likely reason would be Hamilton is waiting to see how Mercedes will perform. It's no secret 2022 was the worst season in Hamilton's long career, but as the team had just delivered multiple consecutive championships, Hamilton was willing to cut them some slack. Well, that good grace stopped in 2023 when the W14 was as much of a failure as its predecessor. In a rare shot at his own team, Hamilton criticised them for not listening to him when it came to the design, and it seemed for the first time in his decade-long stay, tempers were beginning to fray. Well, those tensions appear to have now eased off as Mercedes ditched their original concept in favour of one more to Hamilton's liking, and the results are there for all to see. A double podium in Barcelona was followed by Hamilton confirming he was due to sit down with Wolff to discuss a deal on the Monday after the race, but it was news of the other Mercedes driver that emerged. Russell extends to 2025. Considering his performances in the 2022 season, where he beat Hamilton to finish 4th in the drivers' standings at a time when the Mercedes car was nowhere near the best on the grid, it didn't take much to predict that the Silver Arrows would be interested in extending George Russell's deal. When Russell moved to Mercedes in September 2021, the Silver Arrows did not specify how long his deal was for, insisting it was for multiple years, but it soon emerged that Russell's initial deal would take him through to the end of the 2024 season. A 3-year deal seemed fair for a driver with plenty of potential, but yet to be tested at the highest of levels. But unwilling to risk letting their star man go, Mercedes added the option of an extra year, which they could trigger any time, and that's exactly what happened recently. The Silver Arrows opted to take up that new year, bringing Russell's contract to the end of the 2025 season, and making it the joint second longest current contract in F1 alongside Bottas and Lando Norris. The Russell extension was done quickly and easily, signalling how happy both sides were with the arrangement, but quick and easy are not terms you could use to describe Hamilton's negotiations. What does this mean for Hamilton? Well, in terms of what we can learn from Russell's deal in relation to Hamilton's, the most obvious thing is that Mercedes are on a mission to sort out their future. The F1 driver's silly season usually kicks around the summer break, but in the past, it's been something Mercedes has steered well clear of. The Silver Arrows like to operate with a policy of getting their business done early and quickly, which is why Hamilton's deals have often proved a bit of a headache for Wolff & Co in the past. The second thing it shows is that Mercedes are not putting all their eggs in the Hamilton basket. Given the age difference between the two drivers, Russell has been billed as the successor to Hamilton's Mercedes crown, and he's already shown he can compete at the top level. It's fair to ask then, does this Russell contract then put the ball in Hamilton's contract and allow Mercedes to essentially say, we want you to stay, but we're not going to beg? What next for Hamilton? Hamilton's contract situation is one of the most talked about off-track topics in Formula 1 at the moment, and everyone wants to know if or when will he put pen to a new deal. But while he has had negotiation difficulties in the past, there is one aspect that makes it different this time round. In the past, Mercedes has clearly been Hamilton's best option for adding more world titles to his already busy cabinet. The thing that makes it different in 2023 is that Mercedes are clearly second best behind Red Bull. At 38 years of age, Hamilton knows time is ticking on his career, and having come so close in 2021, he's on a mission to secure his record-breaking 8th world title. The thing he's pondering now is which team gives him the best opportunity to do that. The obvious answer is Red Bull, but there's zero chance Christian Horner would be willing to disrupt his team's harmony by putting Hamilton alongside Max Verstappen, so perhaps an offer from Italy is what's interesting Hamilton. To drive for Ferrari is a lure that almost all F1 drivers cannot resist. Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen, Fernando Alonso, and of course Michael Schumacher, one of Hamilton's heroes. So could Hamilton then want to end his career at a place where his idol made his name? Of course, Ferrari have their issues of their own, from an underperforming car to management meddling, but Hamilton may choose to look past all of that if it means he can become one of Ferrari's great drivers. Until a deal is announced, speculation over just what Hamilton will do in the future will continue on. And while it seems likely that he stays with Mercedes for at least another year, don't be too surprised if Hamilton chooses to follow his heart over his head and make the move to Maranello. Well, that's it for today's video. Let us know in the comments where you think Hamilton will be racing in 2024, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a release here on the DRS Straight.